Good morning and welcome to the second video in my series. And this video is focusing on the financial processes. I'm going to be using the same policy sheet that you're going to receive from your teachers when you have your teacher conferences. Or if you don't get to your teacher conference prior to Thursday night, they will be available at our open house. Open house is set from between 5 and 7. And what we're going to try to do is at 5:30, teachers are going to formally talk to their classrooms about expectations in the classroom. Then at 6 o'clock, the financial aid director, Miss Eileen will be covering financial policies. And then at 6:30, the teachers will once again do their classroom expectations. And so you have a choice of coming from 5:30 to 6:30 or from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and in you won't miss anything. So plan to be there, plan to come and see the school, upper level. Remember, plan to come and pick out your schedules and your electives. So let's talk about the financial policies. They have been evolving as we have developed a financial office. So our financial department now consists of Eileen Taft, who is our director of financial services and all things that have to do with the academy and the Chase Therapies financial position. Miss Victoria is our financial liaison and will be on campus from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily in order to facilitate payments. Now, that brings me to our payment policies. So we have extended our payment dates. If you'll remember last year, payments were due on the 5th. This year, they're going to be due the 10th. That gives you a little bit more leeway. And if you pay by check or money order, bring it in and give it to us. There's no 4.25% fees. If you pay through QuickBooks invoicing or through Square at the front desk, and actually that won't happen at the front desk anymore. That'll happen with Miss Victoria. There is a 4.25% fee attached that goes straight to those agencies who facilitate taking the credit cards. Okay. It doesn't go to us at all. They dictate the percentages and the fees. So do remember that if you regularly use either QuickBooks or Square, then Miss Eileen has already put together what the fees are so that when she gives you your number for your payments contain that 4.25% fee in it so that you can plan on paying the whole amount. If you habitually pay by check or money order, then she's going to give you just the flat rate that is your payment to us without that percentage. So if something happens and you change formats, if you always pay by check, but you can't get in by the 10th and you want to pay by Square, then you're going to have to remember that you've got some additional fees. If you normally pay by Square or invoicing, then you want to remember if you're bringing in a check, it's going to be a lesser amount. And you can check with Miss Victoria about what that amount will be ahead of time if you want, or just walk in with your checkbook and Miss Victoria will tell you what it is as you go through it. So that is the payment policy. Now, that brings me to the next part of it that matters a lot for parents, and that is our strike system. So you can see here, just like the bowling balls, we have strike one, strike two, strike three, and if you'll pardon the pun, you're out. So this is the way that works this year. If you don't make your payment by the 10th, then you have a strike. That strike sits with you for the year. It does not go away because you've made your payment. So that's one of the issues. Now, strikes accumulate, strike two, and then strike three. After three strikes, then your child is going to be withdrawn from our school. Now, the reason for this is that last year we spent an inordinate amount of time and resources and professional hours chasing down these payments. And we just can't allot that much time anymore because the truth of the matter is your payments are about regular tuition. They aren't about the time it takes the teaching, administrative, and front end staff to chase you down to get that fee. That costs more because you're taking our professional time that should be focused on the children and learning, and we're using it to chase down payments. And so we're not going to do that anymore. Those of you who cannot communicate and get those fees in and paid on time, you're going to struggle this year, and you may end up having to withdraw your child. So, how do you avoid a strike other than paying on time? Because we all know things happen. Things do happen. So, you communicate, and you communicate in advance. As soon as you know, you say, I know that payments are due by the 10th, but this month I'm not getting paid until the 12th, or this month I've had X happen and I can pay you by the 15th. If you communicate in advance with the financial team, you will not incur the strike unless you make a commitment that you do not keep. So I'll pay it by the 15th. The 15th comes and goes and you don't pay it, you have earned that strike. Now, if you don't pay it by the 10th when it's due, or you don't pay it by your committed date, then on the 20th, you get an additional strike. So you can actually earn all 3 strikes in 1 month, the 10th, the 20th, the 30th, and you're done. The only way to avoid that is, 1, to communicate with the committed time you can pay and to keep that commitment. That's all we ask. If you communicate, you won't incur the strike. Even though you're going to pay it after the 10th, you won't incur the strike. So make sure that you're managing your financial plans with the school so that you're not incurring these strikes. I hate to hand them out. I don't want to give them to you, but I absolutely will. So that is the parent payment processing. Now, let's go back to payment dates. Those of you who are new, you're on a 9-month payment plan because that's all we can offer you. Those of you who are return, you had a 12-month payment plan if you wanted it. And so remember that those payments come in on the 10th. And what we did was we took your tuition, your child's scholarship value, we subtracted the scholarship, came up with how much was left, added any fees. If you're an upper level, there's a $80 and a $50 fee for materials and life skills. And if you're not, then it's just how much is left. We divide it by 9, and that's your payment. Now, if you're paying by credit card or Square, remember, we divide it by 9, and then we add that 4.25% to each payment so that you don't have a lump sum at the end. So if, again, if you're returning, remember you got the 12 months. And the wonderful thing about the 12 months is it gives you longer to pay it. But the other thing is it's 3 more months, which you can earn a strike if you're not meeting your deadlines and you're not communicating with the office. Scholarships. Let's turn to the scholarship payment. So everybody here, almost everybody here, is on the Florida Empowerment Scholarships Unique Abilities Scholarship. The only thing we ask is, first of all, scholarships are paid quarterly. So we're going to see payments coming, there are payments coming in now for those of you who re-enrolled by June 15th. We're just now getting first quarter payments. Those of you who did it by July 15th, we will get those payments late next month. However, October 1st starts the next quarter, and November 1st is when your money will hit your account again, and then payments will come late November. Your role is that we will see on our side of the EMA board, which is the Step Up financial aid platform, we will see that your scholarship money is ready to be invoiced to us. So we click on Get Parent Approval, and then we're going to text you or email you and say, please go into your account and approve. If you could please do this as quickly as possible. This is really our main source of income. and we get it 4 times a year. And our job is to make it last for the 3 months that we get it. So it's vital that as soon as you're being told that, if you can approve it, then we'll get paid within the next 48 hours or so. And so that's super helpful to us because my teachers are waiting to be paid. And so by staying on top of that scholarship amount, then you're helping us make sure that our staff and teachers are getting paid on time. Also, you should know there are rules around getting scholarship money. So you have to have 10 days of attendance. If you have attended 10 days in the quarter, then we have financial rights to that money for the full quarter. Now, I try to work with families who go from one program to another, say it's not working out and they want to switch to other schools. As long as you've met your financial commitments to me, I will be happy to take any leftover money from that quarter and help you get into the next school. I'm not trying to hurt any child. I want you to be able to move your child to another scholarship accepting school. However, it is my gift because legally I am allowed to hold that money for the quarter. And I'll tell you why. You have 8 students in the classroom, maybe 10. When you pull out your financial support for that month or that quarter, you're taking 10% or more, 15% of the income that room is making. And think about the impact on that teacher. You're taking 15% of her income out of that room that quarter. And the reason why we're allowed to hold it is it gives us the quarter to re-enroll another student, fill that seat again, and maximize that room's payment capacity. And so while that might feel unfair to your family and your children, and I will try and avoid that, it is a factor that both the state of Florida and we have to think of simply because we don't have 30 kids to spread out the payment from. We normally have less than 10. And so each child is 10%, 12%, 15% of the room. And that's why that matters, is that we've got to refill that seat and we can't fill it technically until the next quarter. All right. So that is the policy in terms of your scholarships. Let me look and see if I've gotten anything else. If you leave and your scholarship hasn't come in and we're approved to get it, if you don't approve it this year, we have signed a contract with a credit company, a collections company, and we will send you information. We'll give you our letter first. It says, please approve this scholarship payment that goes to us, because if not, we are forwarding you to collections. So please make sure that you keep your commitments to us and we will keep our commitments to you. Those of you who are in grades K through 5, we do offer before and after care. 7 to 8 a.m. is before care and 2:30 to 5 p.m. is after care. Before care is $10 an hour and after care is $20 an hour. You can pay by the week. Those of you who struggled to pay on time last year, you're going to have to pay in advance. So we're looking for you to pay prior to utilizing those services. I think it's the best thing. Come in on Monday morning, pay for the week. And that way we're sure we're getting paid and you're not running up a tab that later on your financial family plan can't cash in on a regular basis. So please plan to pay those fees in advance of the week that you want to use those services. I think that's the best case scenario for everybody. But for those of you who ran into big balance dues last year, that's going to be mandatory for you. Miss Melissa will be our aftercare from 2:30 to 5. And in the morning, the elementary teaching staff will be circulating that 7 a.m. arrival for those of you who want to come in early. And if you'll let us know if you're planning on using our services, that would be fantastic. We would really appreciate that. Let me see what else. We can handle class fees for upper level. They'll come in, they're attached to your fourth quarter, and they get paid they get added into that payment amount that you have on a monthly basis, so you're not paying those separately. The only thing you're paying separately and upfront is our $300 registration and enrollment fee. If you're hearing me now, you probably already paid that, because most of you don't have enough scholarship money for that to be rolled into it. All right. I think that's going to be about all I need to cover with you, but I wanted you to know what was coming. You're going to hear this again one-on-one with Miss Eileen and Miss Victoria, as you're also getting your individual fee schedule. You will take a copy of that home so that all the details are in front of you. In no way, shape, or form are we trying to trick you or do a sleight of hand. We need you to keep your commitment. So we need you to know the details of that commitment, and we need you to agree to it, knowing what it is up front. So we're trying so hard for transparency, and we're trying to create policies that make the machine be well oiled and moving forward. My next meeting will be on classroom readiness. We're going to talk about planners. We're going to talk about the calendar, and hopefully that'll get you ready as well. Thank you so much for putting up with what I know is probably a longer session, but thank you. And we look forward to seeing you this week in our parent conferences. Please answer your teachers' texts, emails, and phone calls because they're trying to meet with you. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you this week.